This jar says cheese, but what if none of it is actually real cheese? Today I'm ranking popular jar cheeses from worst to best, and trust me, the last one will surprise you. When you hear the word cheese, you probably imagine milk, aging, flavor, and something that melts beautifully. But walk down any grocery store aisle and you'll find jars filled with bright orange, perfectly smooth cheese sauces claiming to be cheese. The question is, are they actually cheese? Today, we're breaking it all down by ranking popular jar cheeses from worst to best, based on ingredients, processing, and how close they really are to real cheese. And here's the twist. None of these are truly real cheese in the traditional sense. Let's start with the worst of the worst. At the bottom of our list are jar cheeses that barely contain any actual dairy at all. These products are usually labeled as cheese sauce or cheese product, and for a reason. The first ingredients are often water and vegetable oils, followed by modified food starch, emulsifiers, artificial colors, and preservatives. Real cheese starts with milk, but here, milk appears far down the ingredient list, or sometimes not at all. These jars are designed for shelf life, not nutrition or authenticity. They don't melt naturally, they don't age, and they're engineered to look and taste the same every single time. Moving slightly up the list, we find jar cheeses that do include some dairy, but not enough to call them real cheese. These products often contain small amounts of cheese powder, or whey, mixed with stabilizers and oils to create that smooth, pourable texture. While they may taste a bit better than the bottom-tier options, they're still heavily processed. The flavor is manufactured, not developed, and the texture exists because of chemistry, not craftsmanship. If you've ever noticed that these cheeses never break or separate, no matter how much heat you apply, that's a big clue. In the middle of the ranking are jar cheeses that at least attempt to resemble real cheese. These usually contain a higher percentage of dairy ingredients and fewer artificial additives. You might see milk, cheese cultures, or enzymes listed, which is a step in the right direction. However, they're still far from traditional cheese. They're pasteurized, stabilized, and reformulated to survive months on a shelf. While these are better options compared to the worst offenders, they're still designed for convenience over quality. As we approach the best jar cheeses on the list, the ingredient labels start to look a little cleaner. These products often use real cheese as a base and rely less on oils and fillers. They may still include emulsifying salts to maintain texture, but the flavor comes closer to what you'd expect from actual cheese. Even then, they're not something a cheesemaker would recognize as authentic cheese. They don't age, they don't develop complexity, and they're not made using traditional methods. So here's the big truth. None of these jar cheeses are truly real cheese. Real cheese is made from milk, cultures, rennet, and thyme. It changes, it varies, and it doesn't need a long ingredient list to exist. Jar cheese is a processed food designed for speed, convenience, and shelf stability. That doesn't automatically make it bad, but it does mean you should know what you're buying. If you enjoy jar cheese occasionally for nachos, dips, or quick snacks, that's fine, but understanding the difference helps you make smarter choices. If you want real cheese flavor, fewer ingredients, and better quality, block cheese or freshly shredded cheese is always the better option. So the next time you pick up a jar that says cheese, flip it over, read the label, and remember, the jar might say cheese, but the ingredients tell the real story. And now you know exactly which ones are the worst, which are the least bad, and why none of them truly qualify as real cheese.